SummerSlam 2014 is an active crime scene. The police are still looking for this blonde Minnesotan bear. He is wanted in connection with a savage murder. Gosh, what a weird main event. Big Match John, who's extra big and extra matchy when the Big Four roll around, was made humble by the ignoble Brocktopus. It was bad, guys. It was real bad. It was amazing seeing John Cena in an actual squash match. It may be slightly baffling, but well, let's just throw to this classic bit of Simpsons.
Already dead.
I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 fascinating facts about SummerSlam 2014. Number 10, it was the end of the LA run. From 2009 to 2014, SummerSlam lived in the Staples Center in Los Angeles, like WCW holding 5 straight Halloween Havocs in Las Vegas, or most of their Great American Bashes in Baltimore. However, WWE would use SummerSlam weekend in LA as a centerpiece for their Hollywood schmoozing, with media companies and the elite attempting to further their brand through networking and having David Otunga marrying as many famous people as possible. However, the 2014 show saw a major cutting back in the days leading up to the show. There was no fan access, and the only truly major event aside from the pay-per-view was the 2K Sports video game panel, which thankfully passed without incident this year. WWE even announced Brooklyn as a 2015 location during the pay-per-view itself, so the decision to end the LA stretch of SummerSlams had been final for quite some time. Number 9, a pre-show tag match was scrapped. If Shawn Michaels is Mr. WrestleMania, then Jimmy and Jey Uso are both Mr. WrestleMania pre-show. The twins have worked every WrestleMania pre-show from 27 through 33 apart from 29 and have never been on the actual WrestleMania main broadcast. Reigning WWE Tag Team Champions at the time, Jimmy and Jey Uso were set to defend the belts in a 4-way match against Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, Ryback and Curtis Axel, and the Brothers Dust on the pre-show. For reasons that are not entirely clear, that match was replaced by Rob Van Dam taking on Cesaro for no title or anything. I guess paying 2 guys is easier than paying 8. Number 8, WWE ran a house show the night before. So in 2014, WWE cut back on less SummerSlam week activities and also a quick money-spinning house show. Were WWE strapped for cash or something? Oh wait, hang on, the network had just launched. So yes, 4 of the SummerSlam pay-per-view matches took place on this house show, with Roman Reigns defeating Randy Orton, Rusev going over on Jack Swagger, Chris Jericho winning over Bray Wyatt with Ric Flair as special guest referee, and Dean Ambrose defeating Seth Rollins. The main event saw John Cena defeat Kane in a non-title street fight because he certainly wasn't going to be getting Lesnar. Despite guest appearances by both Flair and Hulk Hogan, the show drew a somewhat disappointing 6,200 fans. Number 7, it was the first IC title change for 6 years. Between 1988 and 2002, the Intercontinental belt changed hands at 12 of the first 15 SummerSlams, with the show being the perfect place to give the fans a major title change while keeping the current world champion strong. From 2003 through 2016, the IC belt only changed hands twice in 14 shows. Once was in 2008, where Beth Phoenix pinned Mickie James to procure the gold for Santina Marella, which is weird. In fact, the only time in those 14 shows that the IC belt changed hands at SummerSlam with the champion actually taking the fall was when Dolph Ziggler pinned The Miz in the opening match of 2014. The 8-minute match felt like a compressed 14-minute. It wasn't their surprisingly awesome No Mercy 2016 show stealer, but it was pretty damn good for what it was. Number 6, the rules for the flag match were in doubt. Rusev's undefeated streak, God bless it. The super athlete was getting considerable heat for his and Lana's pro-Putin spiel, and proud American Jack Swagger made for an excellent foil. The two would face off naturally in a flag match, but unlike the one at this year's Battleground, even WWE weren't sure what the rules were. Traditionally, a flag match is under Capture the Flag rules, and WWE even listed those rules on their website while promoting the SummerSlam match. Then, those rules were taken down and no new rules were ever posted in their stead. On TV, they didn't make it clear what the rules were, and in the end, the gimmick just meant that the winner got to raise their flag while their anthem played. Alright. Number 5, it was RVD's last WWE pay-per-view appearance. Beginning in 2013, Ronald Van Donald's done the Chris Jericho deal, where a renowned wrestler comes back for a few months or maybe a year or so, and then disappears back to semi-retirement, rinse repeat. He had a 4-month run in the middle of 2013, and then came back for a few more months in 2014. Van Dam worked the dark match of SummerSlam 2014, defeating Cesaro, and then performed as a lumberjack during the heated Dean Ambrose-Seth Rollins showdown. 9 nights later, Van Dam taped his final match for the company, losing to Seth Rollins for an episode of SmackDown that aired August 29th. Since then, Van Dam has returned to the independent scene on a sporadic basis, not ruling out another brief run with WWE before he calls it quits. Number 4, the Brie-Steph match was extensively rehearsed. Triple H's wife versus Daniel Bryan's wife. Although not in the same league as their respective husbands' match at WrestleMania 30, Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella actually pieced together a much better showing than anyone dared to expect. Like Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior extensively practiced their WrestleMania 6 match weeks before the pay-per-view, again better than it had any right to be. For most to SummerSlam week, Stephanie and Brie took to a ring in Los Angeles and choreographed their match move for move. It may not have been as wild as the match Stephanie had in 2001 with Trish Stratus, her all-time best, but the 11-minute showcase was pretty damn good. Number 3, Daniel Bryan was supposed to face Lesnar. Daniel Bryan's dramatic World Championship win at WrestleMania 30 vindicated the fans who believed in him and had vocally refused to let another Mania pass without him getting his due. Sadly, a neck injury would sideline him come June, and he had to vacate the WWE Championship he'd worked so hard for. Dave Meltzer would later confirm that Bryan vs. Lesnar was the plan for SummerSlam 2014. It would have most likely followed the same formula as Cena's nightmarish trip through the suplex machine, which is a bit sobering when you realise what bad shape Bryan was in at the time. Number 2, it was the end of the two belts. When Randy Orton defeated John Cena at the TLC pay-per-view to unify the company's two world championships, it continued the silly tradition of having the champion carrying around both belts, which will never compare to Ultimo Dragon and his 8 belts of awesomeness. In a video interview with TMZ hours after SummerSlam, Lesnar, emerging from Morton's Steakhouse after a victory meal of 5 cows, told the unseen interviewer with a laugh, "I ain't carrying around 2 friggin' belts. Are you kidding me?" Sure enough, 24 hours later on Raw, Lesnar was presented with the new singular WWE World Heavyweight Championship in a photo op ceremony with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. While they probably intended to go with 1 belt before Lesnar's SummerSlam victory, it's fun to imagine the company presenting him with both and him saying, haha, no. And number 1, the Lesnar-Cena rematch was rushed onto Night of Champions. After Cena took what the late great Patrice O'Neal might call a historic ass-whipping, you'd think the big rematch for the goal would be held off a little bit, so Cena could get the feeling back in his neck and shoulders. Instead, WWE set the rematch for Night of Champions 5 weeks later. Lesnar and Cena were the 2 biggest active stars at that point, and the reasoning for rushing into the sequel had to do with the WWE Network. According to the Wrestling Observer, the initial 6-month subscriptions to the network were due to expire on September 2nd, and WWE, before the days of offering free trials every single month, needed a big hook to get fans to re-up once more. Lesnar Cena was their best shot at enticing fans to stick around instead of letting subs lapse, because WWE really needed money, you guys. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.